Hey raccoons! It's time for another week of learning, and this week we are going to be doing space. I love doing outer space with you guys. I wish we were in class, but this week we're going to learn about stars and planets and some scientific things like gravity and an orbit and all those big science words. But right now we're going to talk about the planets. So I'm going to read this book. It is called The Planet Name Game, and it has a character in there that you guys are familiar with. There's old Cat in the Hat. All right, I'm going to turn this so you guys can see the book, The Planet Name Game. All right, you ready? One day the cat said, "Today we will fly and see all the planets way up in the sky. There are 8 planets that circle the sun. We can name them all and have lots of fun." Now it used to be that there were 9 planets and they counted Pluto as a planet, and then they decided Pluto wasn't a planet, and I think they decided Pluto is a planet now. But the last planet in our solar system is not in this book, so we'll talk about Pluto in a minute. First stop is the sun. Look, here we are. Have I told you that the sun is a star? Up in the sky, it may look like a dot. When we get close, you can feel it is hot. The first planet we see is closest to the sun. It is Mercury. It is the smallest one. We named one planet. Now what do? Now we blast off for planet number 2. This planet is Venus. It never rains here. It is dusty and dry every day of the year. This planet is Earth. We can easily see why it is called the blue planet. It is planet 3. It has lots of oceans that make it look blue. I love this planet. I bet you do too. Because this is our planet, isn't it? This is where we live. So right in here is actually the United States. Down in here is Florida and Mexico and Canada. Now we will fly way up past some stars to the next planet, the one we call Mars. I know that Mars is the red planet, Nick said, and I can see why. It really is red. Jupiter, the cat said, is 5th from the sun. As you can see, it's the biggest one. We can see it is big when we fly beside it. The other planets could all fit inside of it. It's that big. Look at that. This planet is Saturn. We can see 2 things. It's the 2nd biggest, and it has bright rings. It is the 6th planet. There are only 2 more. Oh, I think space is such fun to explore. Next is Uranus. It has rings too. There is just 1 planet left to show you. Now this planet's interesting. Do you see how the rings around it are crooked? Uranus sits at a tilt. They believe maybe a large asteroid hit it, and it was so large it knocked it off its orbit, and now it orbits this way. We did it, hooray! Oh, sorry. This planet is Neptune. It is planet 8. We did it, hooray! The name game is great. We named them all. Our name game is fun. We can do it again and start with planet number 1. All right, so we're going to work on remembering them in order too. Mercury and Venus were such fun to see. Earth is where we live. It is planet number 3. Page turn, come on. We named Mars, and then we named Jupiter too. Saturn was the 6th planet I showed you. So we have the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, then Neptune. Our name game is done unless we play it again and start with number 1, the sun. Now remember, the sun is not a planet. It is a star. It's nothing but hot ball of heat and gas, and that is what keeps us warm. All right, so let's say the planets in order. So I have this little thing right here. Make sure it's in focus. We have the sun. And this is called an orbit. Now these orbit around the sun, but this just shows which one's closest and which one is furthest away. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto would be way out here. There are other planets, but the definition of a planet is how large it is, and these are the ones that count as planets because of their sizes. And there are other ones that this is where they tried to put Pluto for a while and brought it back, I think. Gas planets. All right, let's do it again. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All right, so here's a little poem to help you remember them. Okay, so I'm going to have you look at these while I say it. All right, well, try to make sure it's not. Okay, planet roll call. 9 planets surround the sun. Listen as I call each one. Mercury here, number 1, closest planet to the sun. Venus here, number 2, shining bright just like new. Earth here, number 3, Earth is home to you and me. Mars here, number 4, red and ready to explore. Jupiter here, number 5, largest planet, that's no jive. Saturn here, number 6, with rings of dust and ice that mix. Uranus here, number 7, a planet tilted high in heaven. Neptune here, number 8, with one dark spot whose size is great, which means it's very, very large. All right, let's do them one more time. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. All right, so I'm gonna do some fun activities in your lesson plans this week, and we are going to do some more exploring, and you are even going to get to make up your own planet. So watch the Zoophonics video to figure out how to do that. All right, bye guys. See you later.